Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 20, His Way. Odo recruits the help of Vic Fontaine to sort out his love life. What did you think?
This episode is really weird, but I enjoyed it a lot. The intro, especially the straight cut from the station to the casino act, that was really strange.
It's a weird one, for sure. I don't know where this came from. The sort of lounge singer character. I don't know how they sat down whilst making this season in particular and said, right, we absolutely have to put an episode with a lounge singer in.
And it's Bashir who introduces everyone to this lounge singer.
Well, he's the resident holosuite pervert, so that makes sense.
This episode also gave me one of my biggest laughs. It's when Cisco points out that Odo is singing, and then Odo continues to sing, and then Cisco is snapping along. The sheer absurdity of the moment overwhelmed me, and I couldn't stop laughing.
I don't think that was supposed to be funny, though.
No, it's not, but it tickled me.
It made me laugh as well. Cisco's been deathly serious this whole season, and now he's tapping along to Odo's sort of gruff mumbling.
Yeah, I said singing, but that's more accurate.
I guess you could class this as both a comedy and a romance episode, which is the two weakest areas of Star Trek.
That sounds like a disaster on its own, but it worked here.
I'd say it worked. A lot of the humor was very sort of cringy, though, which I personally don't mind, but I know a lot of people don't like cringe humor.
Give me some examples.
Well, the whole date with Odo and Kira when he thinks she's a hologram.
Oh, I'm supposed to be laughing at that?
Oh, well, maybe not. I don't know. It was very cringy, though.
Well, I did laugh at that part, but only because of an imagined scenario that played out in my head.
Oh,
So
goody.
Vic is their server, and he says, let me know when you're ready for the salad, or something like that. And then he starts singing, and I thought, what if they just interrupted him right there? Hey, I want the salad now. Stop singing. I want the salad.
Like, Kira has absolutely no restaurant manners.
Why is our waiter singing? I want my salad.
She's a horrible customer.
The service here is atrocious.
There was quite a lot of singing in this episode, more so than any other episode, I'd say.
That really surprised me. When Odo first goes to the piano and Vic is singing, I thought, okay, it's going to fade out so we don't have to hear this whole song. But nope, they let you hear that whole song while Odo mouths the words and does little hand flourishes.
There was quite a few songs, 4 or 5, maybe 6, and a lot of them were fairly complete as well, which is nice. I don't mind if they listen to a song now and again.
He's a good singer, and it's an unusual episode. Might as well go for it.
In fact, this episode was nominated for an Emmy in Outstanding Music Direction. The only episode of Star Trek ever nominated in that category.
That's nice they got some recognition. Usually when you do stuff out of your wheelhouse, even when it's exceptional, a lot of times it's overlooked. That's nice to know that that was noticed.
It's just a nomination, though. They didn't win. Or if they did win, the wiki is really underwhelming in how it reports it.
What is that thing everyone always says? It's an honor just to be nominated. Sure.
Or is that the winners that say that when they get up to accept?
Yeah.
Funny that.
It's only an honor when you win.
This episode also brought to a head the relationship between Odo and Kira, a relationship that's been brewing longer than the Dominion War.
They make out on a promenade.
Yep.
They do the TV trope thing where two people are yelling at each other and it escalates and then it ends in a kiss, which I don't mind because it's not used often. Usually, if a show does it, they'll do it once, and it's fine. It was a fun moment.
That doesn't seem like a thing that would really happen, though.
No, not at all. That's not
You
how it
don't
works.
rage kiss people.
Well, we don't know how it works between changelings and Bajorans. Maybe that's how they attract mates.
Angrily.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Odo and Kira hooking up?
About time.
Well, at this point in the show, it seemed like it was never gonna happen.
Yeah, it took so long, and then stuff happened where you thought, okay, it's not going to happen anymore, I guess. And then it's abruptly brought back, and it does happen.
It is quite a convoluted relationship. It was partly fostered by a time-traveling 200-year-old Odo. So they got there in the end.
I think because it took so long, I'm not that invested. It dragged on for too long. I thought, oh, I guess this is happening now.
So it had a bit of the Ross and Rachel to it.
The will they, won't they thing is done so often. I don't need to really see it anymore.
Hopefully they'll just get married and be a regular couple. Like Dax and Worf and Miles and Keiko. And Bashir and Garrick.
I do like how normal Worf and Dax are. How there's not constant strife for. They're not exploited for the drama. It's just these two people love each other and they work well together.
It's an interesting setting to have a normal couple just sort of getting along. Not only that, I mean, I guess a few couples just sort of being regular. You kind of don't tune into a show about a space station in the far reaches of the galaxy embroiled in a complicated war to see just regular people doing normal stuff.
Having dinner in a holosuite.
At the same time, though, I have very little patience for sort of emotional relationship drama.
Because you're a robot?
I'm not a robot. I just like robots.
Very nice.
It's because it's dull. You don't go out to space and then have angst about who's sleeping with who. You go out into space and then blow things up. That's... I don't know. You can watch any show to see people have angst about relationships.
That will always exist. You can't escape that just by going into space.
True, and I don't think this episode is worse for it by any means. I just don't like it when it's too heavily used.
So you would prefer this were a B plot rather than a plot?
Well, was there a B plot in this episode?
Nope.
It maybe could have been a B plot. No, it shouldn't have been a B plot because it's too complicated for a B plot. There's too much going on, too many songs. Fill up time.
I thought this episode was going to take a weird turn toward the end. So Vic is aware that he's a hologram and that he is an AI, and then he starts to do things they're not supposed to. He invades Kira's holosuite. He invades the comm line. And so I thought, oh, what if he takes it too far and he sees Odo and Kira as these two that must acknowledge their love, and so he'll trap them in a room and then tell them, okay, I cut off the oxygen, you better fall in love before you suffocate, or something like that. I thought he would
Vic
take it way
Fontaine
too
going
far.
Nuts.
Yeah, if he went crazy and he became the guy from Saw, Jigsaw.
Hell 9000 or something.
Yeah. You must love each other.
Here, let me croon a little. That will
Yeah, he
help.
sings while they're suffocating.
Take my breath away. Vic Fontaine is a stand-up guy.
He's a smooth operator, and his dialogue is top notch.
Would you like to see more of him?
Not anytime soon, but
What a glowing review.
well, you don't want to overdo it. You know, everything in moderation.
That's fair enough. Plus, it would be weird to have a bar in the holosuite in the bar.
Wait, what?
Well, Quarks is a bar, and then they go to Quarks, then go to the holosuite, and the program they're running is another bar.
What's wrong with that?
Well, nothing really. I mean, it's a slightly nicer bar than Quarks, so fair enough.
And they're
It's-
all racist against Ferengis, so they get to
Yeah,
avoid Quark.
but they don't. They still have to go there and rent the holosuite. There was a special effect shot that looked terrible.
Oh, it's so bad.
I don't know why specifically. They've done similar shots before where the resolution has been a bit better, but this one, it's the shot of Odo changing into a tux. Literally changing part of his body into a tuxedo.
Because he's naked all the time.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't know if they flubbed it a bit and had to zoom in on the content they had, but the resolution was terrible.
That's what it seemed like. That something about outside of the frame was unusable, so they had to zoom in, and oh boy, it looked bad.
I can't say for sure because I'm watching it on DVD, so the quality is generally decent. But I think it would have looked bad even on original airing and on video and stuff like that. So bad job, guys. 4 out of 10. There's some weird dialogue in this episode where Odo speaks French.
Yeah, shouldn't that be translated?
Probably. That would make the conversation really bizarre. Odo would have said, enjoy your meal. It's French, an Earth language. It means enjoy your meal.
But the translator is so clever, it found out he wanted to be speaking French and then translated that first bit to French.
Even though he hadn't yet said the rest of the sentence, revealing that he wanted to talk about it in French.
Yes. There's a 5-second delay for the translator, so it could figure out context.
That would be very frustrating. Like a laggy Skype call all the time. Kira responds with, I didn't know you spoke French.
Yeah, all you need to say is bon appetit, and then boom, you're fluent in French.
That's the logical assumption.
She thinks the entire language consists of that one phrase.
Well,
That reminds me that they reference Kira's Russian accent from whatever episode that was.
Harman Bashir.
Yes. Nice little nod.
Yep, well, Bashir mentions Felix made the Vic Fontaine program, and Felix is the unseen character that makes the spy programs too.
Oh,
So
didn't catch that.
more little nods here and there.
So many nods.
Yep, I was getting dizzy.
My neck was sore.
Why does Odo keep wanting to take Kira out to dinner?
Because he reads in his books that's what you do.
That's a believable reason, actually. He doesn't eat. It just bugs me. For example, if he were blind, would he go on a date to an art gallery?
If he read about it in his books, yep.
It just seems extremely awkward. Like the date was, I suppose.
Well, earlier in the episode, he turns down alcohol because he doesn't drink. And Vic kind of teaches him that's part of the persona he needs to develop, that you do need to drink, you do need to eat. That's part of this little dance of love.
Oh, I never really got that impression.
Yeah, I'm kind of reaching here.
I think Vic just wanted him to do something.
It takes the pressure off of Odo, too. While he's sitting there being awkward, she can look at her plate and eat food. It's much more intimidating to be sat there with nothing in front of you, face to face.
Yeah, it's great to eat something and be watched like a hawk by someone sitting opposite you. No wonder she turned it down.
I really enjoyed when Quark was talking about Kira in business terms. He says the phrase arrange a merger with Kira, and then have you even tried to open negotiations? So that was funny how he's using business language.
It is actually funny. It's a Frankie joke that works, and it's backed up because they've previously stated that Ferengi treat pregnancy as a rental. They have to lease out the womb, I guess. I don't know.
It made me think of that too. It's all about business. It's not a relationship.
Sexy business.
When Bashir reveals to O'Brien that he spoke about his love life with the hologram, O'Brien is really put off and he asks him, "Why are you asking advice from a light bulb?" And I thought that was strange. Why not? It couldn't hurt to get different perspectives, even if it is a program and not an actual person.
They ask the computer for help all the time.
Yeah. Why put down this one?
It's a fountain of knowledge. Oh, yeah, because a computer could never encompass the human condition. Except clearly it can.
Better stick to humans who never make mistakes.
Do you have some wise words from Vic's bar?
Do they have to be from Vic's bar?
No, I'm just trying to make it an engaging hook into the quote section of the podcast. But you've ruined that now.
Whoops.
It's okay. Just do you have a quote?
It actually is from the bar. By
Oh,
the
God.
way. I do enjoy my work, but I'm afraid I've used it as an excuse to avoid the rest of my life.
I know that that's Odo that said that, but it could easily be O'Brien or Cisco.
O'Brien, especially.
Yeah, kind of. I don't think he uses his work to avoid his life. I think that's just a consequence.
Oh, yeah, that's an important distinction.
Cisco, for sure, he just loves to jump into any crazy mission.
It's the only way he feels alive.
As if his life is on the line.
Yep.
He treats running a space station like an extreme sport.
Yeah, he chases that rush.
That's why he went mental going after Eddington.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. If anything, this doesn't fit quite so well for Odo. He just has a really dull job. Well, they try and make it look interesting, but a lot of the time he's just basically hassling people who drop litter and stuff.
He also sits in his office and looks at pads.
Rotates. I tell you who this line wouldn't apply to.
Dax?
Wait, does she have a job? I was gonna say Bashir. He's never doing work unless it's at the end of an episode about him having to do something medicine-y.
That kind of sticks out too because he's a doctor and you would think he would have to treat people. Maybe he's so good at his job, no one ever gets sick or gets injured because they're all superhumans now.
He's just wandering around the station aimlessly. This is a Star Trek tradition, having the Doctor just wandering about. I think Odo's statement also applies to Quark, who has no life at all apart from his business and hating Odo.
But his business is his life.
Oh, and so is Odo.
The quote works for Dax if you reverse it. I do enjoy my life, but I'm afraid I've used it as an excuse to avoid the rest of my work.
But she doesn't have any work to do. I'm not saying she skives off her job. She literally has nothing to do. They don't have any reason for her being there. Dax has a really clunky line in this episode.
Which one?
Kira says she's leaving for Bajor. Dax says, "Oh, that's right. I forgot. Say hi to Shakar for me. Sorry, I forgot. Pretend you didn't hear that." It's just clunky for her to say, "Oh, I forgot," twice in a row about two different things.
I didn't notice that, but that is bad.
It's lazy. Like, 2 seconds reading through it, I'm sure that would have stuck out. Well, maybe not.
They were too focused on Vic's great lines.
And his great songs, which he emitted from his mouth hologram face.
Thanks to a light bulb.
Did they even have light bulbs?
No.
Well, that's a very strange piece of slang. Let's watch the next episode.
Okay.
So deep in my heart, you're really a part of me.
I want the salad now.
I've got you
Why is our waiter singing? I want my salad.
under